All right, fam. Vegas Eagles back. Post-mortem. I'm sorry I didn't get you guys an episode after the Arizona game, but had to travel for the holidays. We're back though, post Eagles Cowboys, going into week 17 now. Season's over. We've been eliminated. It sucks. But we're just going to go through some things, the tail end of the season. Again, I know I didn't talk to you guys after the Cardinals game. That was a tough loss. I did feel like the season was sort of hanging in the balance in that game. But even coming out of that, where Jalen Hurts played a pretty good game, I know the last drive, didn't quite get there, and you know, defense made some plays. I mean, they forced turnovers in that game. I know they gave up a ton of yards to Kyler Murray, but they actually forced turnovers and kept us in the game. After that game was over, though, I put together, I updated the truth board. This was the truth board going into week 16. And, it's pretty simple. The Eagles needed to win the last two. And again, to get to 6-9-1, which is what we've been saying for forever, would get us in. Cowboys needed to lose to the Eagles, and that would have been it for them. And the racists needed to lose to Carolina and the Eagles, and the little people needed to lose one of two. And we thought at Ravens was going to be a great chance for them to lose. So we walk into this past Sunday, and the Eagles are the late afternoon game, and the early games are starting, and the Ravens are mopping up the little people, so that takes care of them. You check them off. Then the Panthers racist game starts at 4:05 Eastern, about 20 minutes before the Eagles game starts, and that starts in a positive manner. Carolina jumps ahead of Washington, and before you know it, at around maybe 4:45, 5 o'clock Eastern on Sunday, things were looking really, really good. This whole plan was coming into fruition perfectly. Carolina eventually goes up 20-0 on the racists, so that works out. So then all the Eagles have to do is win their last two games, and we control their own destiny. And we would have won the division at 6-9-1. And then everything went south in the Cowboys game. But I will tell you guys, when Deshaun caught that 81-yard score, it was like I was transported to heaven for about like 5-10 minutes. I really thought it was happening. I mean, I was texting my buddies, "It's happening! It is happening! Everything is going to plan, and we're gonna win this division again at 6-9-1, just like I predicted 2 months ago." And then it all went to crap against the Cowboys, and the defense got torched, the secondary got torched, and all those things that I worried about with the Cowboys kind of came to fruition. Their offense has firepower, and with those receivers up against our banged up secondary, even with Darius Slay making a play, getting an interception, it just wasn't enough. And the Eagles had chances, man. In that second half, it was 20-17 Dallas at the half. And in that second half, we had so many drives in Cowboys territory that we just came up empty. Whether it would be, Doug punting on 4th and 8 just inside midfield, that was a curious decision. Then we go for it on 4th and 15 when we could have kicked the 51-yard field goal. That would have made the score 30-20 instead of 30-17. And I realized, I know what Doug was thinking. He was thinking, well, I want to make it a one-possession game. But at 4th and 15, that's just not a down that you can really readily convert. Take the 3 points, get it down to 10, and try to build something. So that was a curious decision that he made when we went for it on 4th and 15 after punting on 4th and 8 earlier. And then there's not that it really matters, but like how horrific was that call on Jalen Hurts fumbling at the Cowboys 20-yard line? That was pathetic. They reviewed it and they still called it a fumble. That was just, I'll just never understand these refs once in a while. I think it's horrible. I really think it's horrible. So anyway, it went south. It's unfortunate. Now the season's over, so we can get rid of the whiteboard for now. What I'm going to be doing going forward is I'm going to revamp the whiteboard. Just talk about off-season issues. We don't need to delve into it too much now because there's still one game left. I think the biggest deal at this point is, all right, how do you play this last game? Well, it looks like we're resting everybody. Anybody with even a slight injury is getting sat down. which I think is the right thing to do. Now that you're mathematically eliminated, I think you got to evaluate tanking, and I think we tanked this one. I think we let the racists in the playoffs. Alex Smith's a good guy. Let them get smoked by Tampa in round one, and this way we keep the Cowboys out of the playoffs and the little people out of the playoffs too. So I'm rooting for them to lose on Sunday night for sure. And then I think the next topic that everybody's talking about is Doug Peterson and whether or not he should go. The story broke this morning that it looks like he's going to stay, which I mean I'm a little on the fence about, but I think overall I lean towards having him stay. I think when you win a Super Bowl, that's got to build you so much cachet and goodwill that I think you keep Doug. I think maybe you bring in an offensive coordinator, somebody else calls the plays. It looks like Jim Schwartz is going to be gone as coordinator. He's going to retire for a year. So you bring somebody else in on the defense too, and then I think you go from there. I mean, yeah, but overall I think Doug stays. Now the question then becomes Howie Roseman. On him, I'm much less sure. I mean, he's had some bad drafts, really bad drafts. So I think maybe if you can reroute him to contracts and have somebody else come in and do the drafts. If you can do something like that, I don't know. But I have more concerns about Howie Roseman than I do Doug Peterson, especially because the injuries too the Eagles dealt with the last couple of years that I think have hurt Coach Peterson as being able to call the right kind of game. And whereas Howie Roseman, I mean, he's the guy doing draft picks and he's bungling draft picks. And now we're going to have a draft pick as high as number 3 possibly if we lose to Washington. If we lose to Washington, it can be no worse than 6, and it could be as high as 3. If we beat Washington, then we could be as low as 10. So we're going to be somewhere between 3 and 10 in the draft, and those differences are huge. So I think they got to lose. Take the 6th pick at worst, and if we get lucky, certain teams win this weekend, maybe it could rise up to 3, 4, or 5. So that's where I'm at. It's depressing, I guess, because really the opportunity was there. I mean, it's crazy to think 2 months ago when I was laying out all those things, win 1 of 5 games, and we did it. We beat New Orleans, putting us right in the position that I was hoping we would be in. It was just to win the last 2 and win the division at 6-9-1. I would have been bragging left and right about this whiteboard if this had happened, and it was really close. I mean, hey, Eagles were favored against the Cowboys, and they would have been favored against Washington this weekend if the game mattered, because we wouldn't be resting a lot of these players. So it's a real shame, but what can you do? What can you do? So I hope everybody's holidays were good. As far as the playoffs are concerned, I don't know. I don't really have obviously a dog in the fight. It's nice the Patriots are out because they're cheating scumbags. And if we lose, the Cowboys are out. So once you get rid of the Patriots and the Cowboys and the little people, the other teams become more tolerable. I guess in the NFC, I'm kind of rooting for Green Bay. I think it's a crime that Rodgers only has 1 Super Bowl. This guy is a monster. Absolutely, his numbers are just absurd, year in and year out. And so I kind of want him to get another one. And then in the AFC, I'm rooting for Buffalo and Cleveland because they're way too tortured fan bases. So I hope you guys enjoy the playoffs and get an extra team. One other thing coming up in the offseason, looks like the NFL is adding a 17th game, so that'll be something else to talk about as far as, going to Eagles games in 2021. Don't forget, next season, Eagles at Las Vegas. There's going to be an invasion. And we'll talk about off-season moves and who's coming back, and I hope my boy Jason Kelce comes back, but there's some rumors he might retire. So we'll see what happens, but that's about it for the season. We'll do one more recap after the game against the Racists, which I hopefully we lose, and we'll take it from there. It's season didn't end or go the way I wanted it to, but at least almost all the games meant something. There's nothing worse than games like tomorrow night, which mean nothing, and we only have 1 this year. So it is rare that it happens, but all right, fam. Well, hope you have a good rest of the holiday, New Year's weekend, and we'll be back after the game against the Racists. And have a good one, everybody.